What's up, everybody, and welcome to Around the Monitor for the week of October 2nd. I'm your host, Zach, and joining me once again for first time in a long time, we've got the unlucky tacticianer, Jason. We've got the ace attorney, Pridge. We've got the world's number one Psychonauts fan, David. And last but not least, the number one comfy boy, Ian.
What can I say? I just like hoodies.
Hey, man, it's no judgment. I used to be a big hoodie boy. But if this is your first time watching the show, we talk through the week's gaming news and gamify it by giving points for every point somebody makes in an argument of whether they like or do not like what's going on in the world of video games. Whoever has the most points at the end of the show wins and gets to talk about whatever they like for the next minute while everyone else shuts up. But we always start the show with a trivia question to determine the order. And as we talked about in the pre-show, we got a new character in Smash, boys. And my question to you all is, as of September 6th, how many copies has Smash Brothers Ultimate sold? If you do know the exact
20
answer,
million.
Again, I was about to say, if you know the exact answer, please hold and don't fuck me on this.
I don't know the exact answer, but I'm saying 20 million.
Well, you said the exact answer, so.
Oh, okay.
Well,
okay,
You
well.
could have lied and said you didn't know it. You got a lucky guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know it. I said I didn't know it.
All right,
Did
well,
I say
thankfully,
that? I meant I didn't know it.
I anticipated somebody knowing the answer, so I had a second one ready. One of the topics that probably won't be talked about, just because there's not much meat on the bone, but it's funny. How many gigabytes is Microsoft Flight Simulator to download?
it is 151.
Is that including
Is that exact?
the day one
He's
patch?
just saying it. I don't know.
I'm going to say no to that.
All right, I'm going to go 94 gigs.
I don't know if that includes the.
I'm going to go 94
update.
gigs. 94 gigs.
Okay. This is very close to Jason's, but 96 gigs.
Damn it.
105 gigs.
The correct
my
answer
God.
is 150 gigs.
I said 151. I
Yeah.
thought it was like just
No,
one.
when you
because I
said that-
downloaded this game fucking like 2 days ago.
When you said
So-
that, I was about to be like, Ian, what the fuck did I say about not saying the correct answer? So the correct order is going to be Ian, I believe, followed by, was that
I'm last.
Pridge next?
Pridge, I mean.
I'm
Then
second.
David, then Jason? Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
that
we're
is
not
our...
giving David the first go for having the first question.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
yeah, sure. Ian can know the exact answer for the second question. Doesn't matter. I know
Well,
the
you-
exact answer for the first one. Get fucked. All right, cool.
I mean, hey, listen. If
See
Ian,
how it is.
If Ian wants to relinquish first place, then sure. David can go first, followed by Ian, followed by Pridge, followed by Jason.
I'm okay with that. That seems fair.
All right. Let's talk
I
about
didn't
the...
even know the number. I
That's-
knew there was
what?
like 18 or 19 million a few months ago. I just assumed it went up to 20.
Yeah, that's 20 minutes. All right. The topics for this week's show. We've got CD Projekt Red apparently orders a 6-day work week ahead of Cyberpunk's release to get the game done in time. Netflix has announced Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, a CGI episodic series featuring Leon Kennedy. We've got another Sony patent that may or may not mean anything, including details on a possible PSVR with hand motion trackers. They finally did it, folks. Minecraft has representation in Super Smash Bros. We've got 4 characters. They're probably just skins, right?
Yeah,
It can be-
either skins or echoes, but
I believe it's 1 character and 3 echoes.
Yeah, that's what it
That's
is.
so many more buttons to add to the screen. It doesn't matter. Insomniac
It's
has...
not. I mean, you just
Yeah, I guess there's already like, what, 100 characters in this goddamn game?
More than,
Yeah.
yes.
Insomniac has changed Peter Parker's face for Spider-Man Remastered. Puddle-gate 2, question mark? That's just a dumb joke I put in there. Google Stadia apparently doesn't even work on Google's new Chromecast they're releasing. What's going on with that? You can now fly straight into hell in Microsoft Flight Simulator. There's a hole in the middle of Brazil that just goes straight into
Oh,
the
you
US
wait.
court.
You can fly into America now.
There we go.
Topical.
Media outlets got their hand on Xbox Series X ahead of schedule, and the response seems really, really positive. Have a lot of good specs in this Kotaku article I pulled. Genshin Impact, or as everyone is calling it, Breath of the Waifu, is the biggest international launch for a Chinese game in the West. Or it just international, so against the world. EA apparently was promoting FIFA loot boxes in a toy catalog aimed at children. LOL. Cloud streaming is worse for the environment than playing games. And apparently, Michel Ancel denies that he left Ubisoft due to an abuse scandal. R.I.P. David. You are up first, though. What topic would you like to take to start the show?
I'm not gonna talk about Michel Ancel. It just makes me sad, and I have enough sadness with the state of our country at the moment. So instead, I'm gonna talk about media outlets getting their hands on the Xbox Series X.
Heck yeah. Tell us about those media outlets.
All right. So, a ton of media outlets have finally had their hands on the Series X. They've been able to play a bunch of not Series X games, hilariously enough, with the Series X. So it's pretty much all backwards compatibility or slightly scaled up versions of original games. And surprise, surprise, the more powerful hardware runs older games better than the less powerful hardware.
You know, who would have thought?
Shocker! I would never have guessed that a more powerful CPU, a more powerful GPU, are more powerful than less powerful CPUs and GPUs. Holy shit! That's just mind-blowing. I don't understand how that's possible. It's almost like in the Xbox, there's a computer, and it's better than the old computer. I can't even. How is this possible?
Wait, are you
This
trying
is
to-
a fucking stupid thing.
Are you trying to tell me that video games are computers?
Video games run on computers.
God damn
They
it.
are not computers, but they run on computers.
Huge if true.
This is getting too confusing.
Listen. Every video game you've ever played, going from the present back to the beginning of time, has run on a computer. I know that might frighten you as a user of consoles.
I don't know.
I'm aware of how frightening that can be.
Listen,
It's okay.
I've seen somebody
It's
play.
okay.
I've seen
It's
some.
okay.
I've seen somebody play Doom on a birth a pregnancy test. I don't know if that's a computer.
You're right. And you know what? That's not a computer because it was running on something else, and the display was the pregnancy test because the pregnancy test had an LCD screen in it. So
I'm just
yes
being an
and no.
asshole.
I know. But like realistically, this shit is stupid. Of course, all the old games run better on this newer console with better hardware that still is probably running the same or almost the same OS on it. And it has a solid state drive. Congrats, console generation. You have reached the state of running a PC with a solid state. I don't know if that works because my sound canceling is pretty strong, but
I
I'm
can't hear a
clapping.
single clap. That
Maybe
again,
I should-
I seriously cannot believe that your microphone can anticipate a clap and cut it out of the air entirely.
See, let's be clear. That's not my microphone. That's the NVIDIA AI program running, which is again PC fucking master race on this shit.
Okay.
Your consoles are shit. My graphics card is running my audio. Just to make that clear, my graphics card is running my audio better than your fucking console can. Now, this is really a bullshit. These articles are fucking stupid. They're like, congrats, the more powerful hardware is running old stuff better than the old stuff does. Congratulations. I just want to hear when they've got the new games and how well the new games run and whether they're good or not. I don't fucking give a shit.
But hey, as
long as they run it equal, it's fine. I don't fucking care.
You can put a game on pause, swap out to another game, and instantly within a very short amount of time be in the other game, and you can do that up for 6 games.
Yeah, welcome to having a fucking solid state drive. Welcome to the year 2013 in PC gaming. I understand that that's a frightening proposition to console only gamers. But as someone who plays on both PC and console's fucking far behind, and it's fine because you don't have to deal with drivers, you don't have to deal with all the shit that you have to deal with the PC. So I get it, but like, calm your excitement down because this shit's been in the market for literally 7+ years.
Well, that pretty scathing report by David here, an angry American, but I think we got to turn to our more chill and comfortable Canadian boy to talk about gaming news. Ian, what would you like to talk about for your first topic?
I don't think I'm going to be super chill and comfortable because I want to talk about crunch.
Hey, video games crunch? That never happens.
Video games crunch? So, okay, news story here. Cyberpunk 2077 is crunching. No one expected that. Fucking yeah. So listen, every fucking AAA game is made with crunch. Every fucking AAA game and a lot of AA and indie games as well are made under just horrible working conditions. And this is just like the state of the fucking industry, and somehow that has just been the way of things for years. This is getting traction specifically because, for one, they like announced it, and for two, because at the beginning of the development, the publisher, the developer, CD Projekt Red, that's it. CD Projekt Red was like, "Hey, we're not going to crunch. We treat our employees so well." And everyone who knew anything about the video games industry was like, "Sure you do." And now this comes out 6 weeks, or we're just a few weeks ahead of the launch, and they say, "Oh yeah, we're making our employees work 6-day weeks." Yeah, no one saw that coming. Thanks. I just want to talk about crunch for a little bit because, like I said, every fucking AAA video game, with very, very few exceptions, is made with crunch. Crunch is a huge fucking problem for the video games industry. It's something that you're supposed to like expect going in. You know, people, veterans of the industry, and when I say veterans, I mean people that have been in it for like more than 2 years, because the turnaround on this industry is like, I think 3 or 4 years on average before people burn out and go somewhere else, which itself is a problem. But yeah, these people, like, they've worked on 1 or 2 games before, and they just know, like, yeah, if we're getting like 3 months, 4 months ahead of launch, bring a fucking sleeping bag to work because you're not going home. Which is just fucking, like, can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine? And well, the other thing I said is this is like a huge problem for people who work in video games. It's also like a huge problem for people who play video games. Just and I'm saying this as someone who likes playing video games, and also as someone who, like probably a lot of people, you know, here and listening to this, I, as a kid, wanted to make video games. I don't want to do that anymore.
That's fair. That's very fair.
I decided when I was like 15, I can't do that. This is just not a career path that is possible because the conditions of the work are so bad. And as people who play video games, we can't get video games that are made by people who have, you know, seniority, who have experience, because they all leave. Because it's just not sustainable to live in this environment. How do we fix this? Like, we've tried, as, you know, as people who play video games, you know, shaming the companies, you know, saying we're not going to buy their stuff, but boycotts don't fucking work. Consumer boycotts don't work. The only thing that can happen is organized labor. And right now, the state of organized labor in the video games industry, it's coming along.
It's pretty.
It's coming along really fucking slowly.
Yeah.
I mean, but like,
unionizing in tech in general is I think way behind where it needs to be. But
yeah,
video games in particular is bad. Mark in the chat says, "Hey, I still want to make video games, and more power to you. We respect the hell out of that, but goddamn."
I would like to make video games if it didn't suck the life out of everyone doing it.
Hey,
create an indie company and set your own schedule.
Let's say, hey, listen, just become a YouTuber, and you can still work 50 to 60-hour weeks and not get paid.
God. One last thing on this is crunch is not is not something that should be expected. What crunch is a failure of management. It's a failure of setting the scope correctly. It's a failure of knowing the team that you have, knowing the scale that you can work on, knowing when to cut off new features. All these things and more are just failures of management, partially because they're incompetent, partially because they just don't fucking care and they expect this to happen.
Yeah. Mark in the chat says, you're totally right. In college, crunch was even encouraged. It is a problem in the industry. Thankfully, he says that he works at an indie company and he's able to set his own schedule. But yeah, it's
well, good for you, man.
It's super prevalent, and it's a very difficult problem to manage and solve in a quick fashion. But I think, like you said, unionization is not a bad thing to look into. But speaking of things to look into, we're looking into Pridge and what he's going to talk about. How's that for a transition?
Nice.
Was not forced.
I swear, was it last week or the week before where I railed against something that EA was doing?
I think it was 2 weeks ago. We made a joke about Ubisoft, and you said, "Well, EA trying to one up Ubisoft. They put
what
ads
was
in
that
their
what was that article about?
They put ads in their $60 game."
Thank you. All right, sweet.
Yeah, it was the ads in UFC.
That's what I thought it was. I want to check and make sure because I'm going right back to that well.
it's hey, so is EA.
That was good. All right, yeah. So EA is absolutely determined to not lose its spot as shittiest video game company, which is not something you should go for. But I mean, I guess, you know, it's better to be known for something bad than not known for anything at all. And in EA's latest move of genius, they freaking advertise loot boxes in a toy catalog for children. Yes.
What a move.
A toy catalog for kids. So what this was specifically was basically it was an ad telling kids to play the Ultimate Team mode in their new FIFA 21 game.
Mm-hmm.
And that mode, for those who don't know, is heavily loot box based. You know, it's ones you have to use your FIFA points to unlock all the players and then or the teams and the cosmetics. You can make your, you know, ultimate FIFA team and yada yada yada, all that jazz. And basically what happened was this was found in a catalog for a this is all taking place in the UK. Mm-hmm. So they found it in a toy catalog aimed for kids. I think the retailer was called Smith's Toys. This is already, again, obviously this is bad. Mm-hmm. As we've talked about on this show before, loot boxes are gambling. Mm-hmm. It's very hard to justify anything differently. Mm-hmm. And we should really not be enticing kids to gamble. I think that's a pretty safe opinion. I don't think that's super controversial. And this is not helping EA because they're already getting in trouble for their loot box stuff. There's a California class action claiming that the FIFA 21 Ultimate Team mode itself violates state gambling laws. Mm-hmm. And then EU has already come down with a lot more harsh rulings on loot boxes as gambling, and I forget which country it was. I think one country's already banned.
Pretty sure it's Belgium.
Yeah, something like that has already like put in a note that a loot box game has to be like marketed for an older age group or something because it contains gambling. So it's like this is already a big problem for EA, and they seem to not be learning. The note at the end of the article makes it sound like this was a mistake. This was not supposed to be in this retailer's catalogs, and they've already pulled it. I question that because EA does this all the time. So I'm beginning to think, you know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, fool me 3 times, fool me 4 times. No one's buying it, EA. So again, the moral of the story is EA is continuing just to do dumb things and just doesn't seem to be thinking in the slightest with how much it tries to push loot boxes, which may not be as shitty as Crunch, but is also super duper shitty.
Yeah, it's. I'm pretty sure actually they are already like you said, like specifically in hot water in England. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean they're in hot. I mean a lot. They're in hot water, I swear, and everywhere in EU for this shit.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure the infamous. We don't like to call them loot boxes. We like to call them surprise mechanics. Pretty sure that was a hearing in England.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Believe you're correct
because it's a lie.
Yeah, it's a bad. We like to call them surprise mechanics. Get out of here, you.
And I like to call that bullshit.
Jason, you are up next. What would you like to talk about for your first topic of the show?
I'm going to talk about Minecraft because it's my favorite game.
That's a great. I love to hear it. Good to have a strong Minecraft fan in here. What do you think about his upbeat?
God. So this is another notch in Nintendo's saga.
Did you mean to do that?
Oh yeah. Oh man.
I'm giving you 2 points. That was right up my alley. Holy shit.
My points aren't even gonna be that. So like, as much as let's just say that I had an incident with Minecraft back in the day. Me and friends had a falling out about it. It was not great.
You had an incident.
People said incident, okay? And if I think this is still a good idea on Nintendo's part, because like this game is supposed to be the ultimate crossover for Nintendo. So like you have to get games that are, high in selling. I'm not surprised we were joking about a Fortnite character. GTA. I can't wait till that guy comes up.
Great. John Jacob GTA.
Exactly.
Mr. GTA.
Yeah. Please.
I think
that's my dad.
The wild thing about this is like everybody's always like, well, they're not gonna be able to come up with a move list or something like that. This company was able to come up with a move list for the guy who raced in a car and so made him the best character probably that Nintendo's designed in Smash Brothers and Captain Falcon. So like they'll come up with something. I promise you. Now I think they're gonna be at a disadvantage when people will see a zombie and Enderman who do completely different stuff in Minecraft, by the way, and doing the same thing as Alex and Steve. They're going to be dropping lava barrels. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, who cares? We have fucking Pac-Man doing whatever the hell he wants in that game too. So like, whatever. But like, you have to it's a smart move because you're bringing in larger, entities that are not like directly in Nintendo's realm. Like again, people always been clamoring for Goku. At this rate, it just like opens up like the wheel, like everything's possible. I think this is like the final notch of, again, Jesus, I didn't even do that. This is it. Like this is the final straw of like, you can bring. I wouldn't be surprised if like a Jedi comes in. I wouldn't be surprised if like fucking like Goku, like anything. You bring in any realm, they'll be able to like hopefully get it or whatever. Is it a character we're gonna like? Who knows? But like people love Minecraft, so like put the character in. Sakurai, you're a magnificent bastard. I like you're just. I don't want to say worship, but I definitely respect you almost as Kajoi Kondo. Like those two are like top tier for me. But like my God,
magnificent bastard.
This guy is a genius, and like I don't know, man. This game that continues to just keep, it just keeps lasting so long, especially all of the controversy. Like what a thing that it keep flip back on its head. Like we just had the competitive scene almost like devoid now, and now it's. Still being able to flip and sell, and I know it's competitively. It's just to be able to come back from that for a series is, to me, you got to give all props to even coming up with this character, even if I don't like the series. That's how good of a move it was. I don't like the series. Move.
I think, there was a tweet I posted in the Discord earlier. It was like, wow, they had to acknowledge the Smash Bros scene community, so they put a creeper in fucking Smash Bros. And I was like, damn, that's a joke.
I mean, it really does show how smart Nintendo was to basically never never
connect itself with the grassroots.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. To never connect itself to the competitive scene. Like they're like, nope. Yeah. Like it exists, but we don't care. We don't talk about that.
They can control the competitive scene. So
I'm
like,
sure
you know what?
Yeah, I'm sure they are very happy that they did not.
Yeah. Like yes, that they play our game, but we don't know them. They just play a game.
Heading back around the order, David, what would you like to talk about for your second topic of the show?
As the token VR guy, I will talk about some Sony PSVR patents.
Heck yeah. Tell us about PSVR.
So PlayStation has put in some more patents. They've had some in the past. These ones are actually pretty big in comparison to their previous patents. So the most recent PSVR patents have Oculus-like inside-out tracking, which means you don't need the PlayStation camera, you don't need a base station. You pretty much just need the headset and the console, and that will be able to map your room and figure out where you are and do all the tracking for you, which is fucking awesome. The most recent Rift generation has this. The most recent Valve Index does not have this, still has base stations. And it's honestly a game changer. Like, not having all those different stations to set up is just, in terms of convenience, it's fucking amazing. Like, I can't really play VR games at my desk because I have to set up base stations, but if I have something with inside out tracking, congratulations, you can just play shit at your desk. I can play Star Wars Squadron tonight and not have to set up a bunch of Rift base stations to use the VR mode, which is just, it's awesome. It's great. I love that that's a thing. The other portion of the patent is a kind of steal from the Valve Index, which
it's very
is
much a steal, yeah.
both of these pieces in the patent are steals from other companies. So the inside out tracking is very much a take from Oculus, and the finger tracking, a la the knuckle controller from Valve, is essentially stealing from Valve, which is taking tracking on the controller to finger level using a little wraparound feature along with the tracking from the headset to track where each of your individual fingers are moving, which is just, the feel on that is unmatched from any other VR system. It's fucking amazing. Technologically, it's super cool. The games that implement it, which at this point, admittedly, are very few because it takes a lot of work to implement individual finger tracking into a VR game. VR games are already hard to make. Individual finger tracking VR games are even more difficult to make. But if you put in the effort and the TLC to make that happen, it can make such an amazing experience. And I feel like if this makes it to market, if this patent isn't just them making a patent and it is them making a PSVR 2, it can really be not a game changer for VR, but a very influential piece of VR, where it's not just games, it's application beyond games. I see Remarkable Me in the chat adding it's not too difficult to add individual finger tracking. That's true, but to make mechanics that actually work with the finger tracking is another story. So if you want to actually make it so the individual finger tracking is meaningful, that does take a lot of work and tender loving care.
He was literally just typing up what you were saying, right?
Just as I said it. So yeah, it isn't super hard to be like, oh yeah, the finger tracking's there. That's not super difficult. Most of that's handled by the operating system, but or not the operating system, the engine.
The engine.
But actually using that in a game is difficult, and I feel like we'll get a lot of implementations of that are not just games. I feel like we will get a lot of stuff. We've already had some VR simulations of like helping to train people for different jobs, especially like not Surgeon Simulator in the sense of Surgeon Simulator the game, but Surgeon Simulator in doing some of the basics around surgery and different medical procedures. I don't think it's super far off that we use the individual finger tracking, whether it's PlayStation or Valve's implementation, to practice different surgeries and other things. I don't think that's that far off.
It's funny you said that, because literally when you're like individual finger tracker, I was like, oh, you could like practice playing a piano. And then you're like, oh no, you could do like actual big boy serious things like job training. I'm like, oh, that's a better idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it's a much better idea than that.
Like, we
Why did I
already
think of that?
there's already some of that with the existing VR systems. There's already some practicing of that. So I really think, given a few years and I literally mean a few years, not like 10 years in the future,
Yeah.
we're going to have some very cool training mechanism using patents like this to make things happen. So I'm this is fucking cool. I'm glad PlayStation's doing it. It's not just Valve. I hope that Oculus is not far in the distance to put that out themselves.
Yeah.
It's just so cool.
Mark in the chat says you can play a piano in Half-Life Alex, which, hey, guess what? They fucking did it already, folks. Don't go buy a piano. Go buy a $1,000 VR setup and Half-Life Alex. Ian, what would you like to talk about for your second topic?
Fuck. I think I want to talk about Breath of the Waifu.
Hey, tell us about Genshin Impact and how it is taking the world by storm.
Yeah. So I just want to kind of go off. It looks like a fun game.
Haven't touched it.
No, but see, I'm gonna talk about why I haven't fucking touched it because I want to. I fucking want to, but I'm trying to download it, and I've been trying to download it for 3 fucking days, and I just got this shit again every fucking like 30 seconds to 10 minutes on this download. It throws up network return error 4 and just stops the download. And like,
to see it.
if I confirm and click download again, it continues from where it left off. But like having to babysit this launcher, it's a fucking like 12 gigabyte download. That's not huge. That's not huge.
It's not big at all.
But I'm going off on this because this is the second game in like 2 months that I've had to do this with.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was Final Fantasy 14, which just every fucking 5 to 30 minutes throws up an error that, hey, your download stopped working, and all you have to do is click OK and then click download again. But it won't let me, or it won't just like fucking download the game like it's fucking supposed to. Y'all, get your fucking launchers like ready. This is like the first thing people are gonna see when they enter your game. It's like, oh, I want to play Genshin Impact. I want to play Final Fantasy 14. Yo, this launcher looks like ass and doesn't let me download the game. Other than that, I've seen like people play Genshin Impact. It looks really good. It's a beautiful fucking game. It's a beautiful fucking game, and it looks like a lot of fun. Obviously, if you haven't seen it, it looks like Breath of the Wild, but with waifus. And gacha. The gacha is for the waifus, and like the whole thing is that you can like switch your characters, and and I want to fucking play it because I want to play the waifus in the Breath of the Wild world.
Man.
Okay, that's my rant. Get your fucking launchers together, y'all.
I'm excited to. I think I'll dabble in this game sometime this weekend too. But until then,
Ian just lives in Canada, Dan. Canada just doesn't work well with Genshin Impact. What can you say?
They hate their waifus up in Canada. That's what I hear. Pridge, what would you like to talk about for your second topic?
All right, let's talk about a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
He got a facelift, I heard.
Spider-Man got a facelift. Spider-Man got some plastic surgery. So basically, the Spider-Man game, which was really good. I played a bunch of it at my brother's place. It's a lot of fun. It is getting remastered for the PlayStation 5 when that comes out. Pretty smart decision, because I feel like people who haven't played it on the PS4 should play on the PS5, and there certainly will be some people who do that. But the interesting thing is they changed the model of the face for Peter Parker in the game. And if you're wondering what they changed it to, well, basically, they changed it to Tom Holland. Like not even like a question mark there. It's just Tom Holland. And obviously, the reason they're doing this is because Tom Holland is the Spider-Man that is making gajillions of dollars in the Marvel market. So they're very much trying to capitalize on that. And from a business standpoint, that makes sense. But I'm going to talk about why from a different standpoint. It's really dumb. If anyone's ever seen Tom Holland, he has a baby face.
He sure do.
He has a
sure
tremendous
do.
baby face. He looks. If someone called him a teenager, I'd be like, yeah, I could see that. He looks very, very young.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the Marvel movies, that works though because
he literally plays a teenager.
Yeah, it's a high school Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
So having him look very young makes complete and total sense. The problem is, though, the Spider-Man from the Insomniac games, and this is like, I looked this up, has been Spider-Man for 8 years. So, like, unless Peter Parker donned the Spidey suit when he was, like, 8, which he didn't, this looks super bad in-game because we're playing an 8-year veteran Spider-Man with a teenage baby face, and it looks really awkward. So, like, I get why they're doing it, because they just want to capitalize on the Marvel movie's success, but they're slapping their own, like, I mean, again, you could just say he looks really young. So it's not, they're not, like, invalidating canon, but it just looks really out of place, especially if you've played the game, but, like, well, why is clearly, like, grad school age Peter Parker look like he's 14?
Yeah,
I am confused.
I do want to clarify. They did release a statement saying that the reason they did this was to make the face model look more like Yuri Lowenthal, who did the actual voice for Peter Parker. But like,
that's a lie. That's an absolute lie.
It just why would you?
He looks very much less like Yuri Lowenthal.
Yeah.
But I think it has to do with like bone structure and likely because they want to age up Spider-Man and Miles Morales, so they went with like a younger.
Yeah,
it's any other reasoning besides it looks like Tom Holland is a lie.
It's a very odd choice, and I don't think they could have expected not getting some blowback for this, but here we are. Mark in the chat says he's actually 23 in the games. I don't.
He's 23.
Oh well, there it is.
That's what Insomniac has said. Granted.
Right.
What Pridge said earlier is still accurate, where he looks like he's 14, even if he's 23 now.
If Spider-Man were real, Remarkable Me would be him, so I trust him.
That's actually a dang good point. I know what Remarkable Me looks like, and that is a good point. Jason, final topic of the show. Bring us home. What are we talking about?
There's a couple serious topics left. I mean, obviously, so a couple like nail biters. You probably should get to those. Everybody like clamoring for like, should I talk about Resident Evil? Should I talk about, down and dour Ubisoft? No, we're gonna go the meme topic of the week because
I know exactly what it's gonna be.
I'm picking the Flight Simulator.
Oh, I thought you were gonna dunk on Stadia.
No. Oh, I forgot Stadia was an option. You know what?
Here's the thing: if you want to marry the two, I'll let you do it. We've done this a couple times in the last few shows.
Transition it. I got it, dude.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Flight Simulator. Here's the thing.
I'm interested in how you're going to transition from a game that does not
Here's the thing.
to cloud gaming.
I got this.
You have exactly 2 minutes to talk about this because we are running long.
So, let's set the scene real quick. All right, so Flight Simulator is supposed to be like a realistic flying, like you fly a globe, whatever. They have, and I'll even set the scene. You can fly into a black hole. We're in the black hole now. Okay, great. We're in it, and you're flying in this hole, and it's like a buggy mess, right? It's still less bad than any bug in fucking Fallout 76. You know who made Fallout 76? Bethesda, it just works, dude. It just fucking works. Now, great. They're like Team Rocket. And you know who their compadre is? Fucking Google Stadia. Because I haven't seen anything good about this. I'm a mobile gamer now because I don't have a PC. I get Google Stadia ads every Twitch stream I open up, every YouTube vid. Stadia. Who's playing that? Nobody. Because they know that Google has zero history in the game, and still, somehow, Google will make a more competent game than Bethesda will. I don't even fucking know how that exists. But, like, Stadia has nothing. They have nothing presented right now. They're just, like, living off the name Google, which is not going to... it probably might actually work. That's the sad part, because EA is still getting through everything anyway. So it's like the triple Legion of Doom, Meowth, Jesse and James right here. Fucking EA, Bethesda, and Google Stadia. I don't know which one's worse. Pick one.
Who's
but we're all going to
Meowth? Who's Meowth in this analogy?
EA. Has to be EA,
Okay,
dude.
okay.
That's right, dude. And like honestly, somehow this black hole of fucking shit is like a metaphor for all three of those companies. I don't know, man. That's how I'm gonna tie them all together. That's it. We did it.
Well, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give you an extra point because you literally didn't even go a minute and a half. That was the briefest of topics I think we've had all night. But right now we do have a 3-way tie between Pridge, David, and Ian. I'm gonna leave it up to the chat. Whoever gives the first point in chat to somebody that isn't Jason. Ohio gave a point to 8-Ball for saying Minecraft. Cool. He's at 16 now.
If you are not familiar, you lucky person, Caillou is a despicable, spineless 4-year-old boy who cannot do anything.
You know what, Ian? I wanted to move to Canada after I watched the debate earlier this week. Because of what you just said, I don't want to move to Canada.
Hey, listen. Ohio just removed a point from Ian. He also just removed a point from David for nationalism, which means...
No, I refuse. I've done like the last 2 weeks. I refuse. I have nothing to talk about.
Jason, Ian, and David, it's time to go home and become family men. Because this week's winner is Pridge.
Yeah. The lawyer, dude.
It's going to be weird to edit parts of this out because I'm not going to listen to that entire monologue about Caillou on this goddamn show again. Pridge, are you ready for your minute to win it?
All right, so Netflix making lots of TV series. They want to do a Resident Evil Infinite Darkness CGI episodic series. That's a lot of words. What does any of that mean? I don't know, and honestly, I don't care because the zombie genre is oversaturated and boring. So this is one thing that I generally give Netflix television shows a chance because I own Netflix, so it's no cost to me to just like try it out. But and like that Resident Evil is popular, but I don't. No one wants more zombie television. It's markets like everywhere. You can't even get away from zombies if you want. So, like, this Netflix show, I'm done now. I didn't even want to do this.
And on that extremely uplifting note of a minute to win it, thank you again so much for watching, everybody. Do we have some things to plug for this week? Really quick, I'll shout out, put up a video this week on Ubisoft and basically kind of their history of this year, basically all the allegations that have come forth they've been doing over the years of protecting abusers that are working in high-level positions at their company. It's a pretty awful slog of an 18-minute video, but check it out because it's important. Give that a listen, and also check out Tales from Runeterra, our actual play D&D show. We just put up the first episode of our new arc, which is set in Piltover or Zon, and it is really fun so far. David, I believe you have something to plug for the channel.
So we just put out on YouTube Around the Controller episode 10, where we talk about our top 10 favorite games for each of our hosts, and we roast each other on them. It's pretty fun. It was very enjoyable to record after we figured out how the internet worked. And we'll be doing a new episode next week, same time on Friday, so that'll be cool.
Heck yeah. Thank you so much again for watching. But until next time, this has been Around the Monitor.